Jenna, and I haven't done that in a while.
What happened there?
I don't know, I just got
You've got to leave that in.
Hello everybody, my name is Jenna and today I'm once again here with Beck from the channel SheNoob087. We are going to be doing one of my hashtag finale talks. We are going to be talking about Sherlock Season 4, Episode 3, The Final Problem. Before we get started though, I just wanted to say a big congratulations to me because I am the one who got her hooked on Sherlock. So that's why she's here today, and basically I needed another video and I was like, hashtag finale talk we'll have to do. So basically, because it's been a couple of weeks since Sherlock has aired, and obviously Sherlock is such a tiny show in that we only had 3 episodes, but the episodes were really long, we're gonna just kind of talk about the finale in general mostly, but then like link it back to previous episodes.
We're gonna see how this goes.
We're gonna see how this goes basically. So we sort of want to talk about the episode sort of in general, plot points that happened, what we thought worked, what we thought didn't work, and we'll talk a little bit about Season 5 as well. So the first thing I wanted to say is that this is going to contain massive spoilers for not just episode 3 of season 4, but probably for the entire series in general. Yeah. So if you haven't yet seen this episode or this show, I recommend that you drop everything and go and watch it, because it is just like the best show I have seen in such a long time. Beck can definitely attest to that now that I made her watch it basically.
Second favourite show.
It's so good.
No, third favourite show next to Ruby and Game of Thrones.
Yeah, it's honestly just incredible, like there's so much about it. But like I said, we're going to be talking mostly about the final problem. So when it comes to Sherlock, my friends and I, like not Beck, because Beck lives so far away from me, there was no way I was coming down for these episodes, but my friends and I, what we normally do is we will wait the extra 3 weeks and we would just watch all 3 episodes at once. So my 2 friends came over, we watched episode 1 and I cried, obviously. We watched episode 2 and I was definitely not okay and I was just like a mess. And then my friends decided, oh Jenna, yeah, we're gonna go home now. And I was like, well, I'm gonna watch episode 3 anyway. And then I was like stressed out to the max, like my heart was racing so much and I was just not okay watching the episode. How did you feel watching episode 3, Beck?
I don't know why you do that to yourself, because like I watch them as they come out because I know that they're roller coaster rides emotionally, and like
I had no time to process
the 3 episodes and you were like, okay, I'm gonna marathon them now. I was like, you are not ready.
Yeah, so basically I didn't have time to process what happened in episodes 1 and 2, and they were such emotionally draining episodes.
The entire week to process.
They were so emotionally like devastating. So by the time I got to episode 3, The Final Problem, I was already an emotional wreck, and then that episode broke me. So we're gonna sort of start from the beginning. So when the episode like first begins, it begins with a girl like waking up on an aeroplane, everyone else is asleep, and Jim Moriarty's voice comes over the loudspeaker, welcome to the final problem. And I just was like, this is bad, this is not okay. Yeah. So then we get to Mycroft Holmes, and he is at home and he is watching a silent movie that he is like miming, and I'm like, oh my god, he's me, but like in a much sadder way. All this sort of stuff starts happening, and we finally found out why he carries his umbrella around all the time. It's a sword and a gun!
Yeah, I mean, I figured. Do you know what's funny is that when I saw him do that, there's actually a character in Ruby called Neo who has a sword in her umbrella. When I was watching that, I was like, that's weird. But then it was also a gun. And in Ruby, again, there's a joke that every weapon is also a gun. I was like, this is so weird.
Yeah, so that was, you know, really funny. I think one of the things that I really loved about the start of this episode is that in the first 2 episodes, Sherlock and John go through so much, especially in the second episode, their relationship is so strained. But when we get to this 3rd episode, the reappearance of Eurus and everything, it was sort of like, oh, they're working together again. And I thought that was just really lovely. And their relationship definitely gets repaired through this, and it's just so beautiful. Then we sort of moved to Baker Street, where Mycroft is now sort of a client, which was so funny to watch.
That was hilarious.
And we sort of go through and we find out who Eurus really was, why she was sent away and all that sort of thing, and that was just so heartbreaking to watch and to see all of this happening. But I always thought it was really interesting because when they sort of said that Sherlock and Mycroft had like a secret sister, I always sort of went, I'm really confused. I always thought it was a secret brother because there was like fan petitions going around that they wanted Tom Hiddleston to play him. But I think the sister thing worked really well. Like I really love the twist.
Yeah, I think everyone assumed that it was a brother.
Yeah, because they did really well. Like this show's done really well with twisting their stories to sort of make them their own, and this was definitely a twist that was really well done. I kind of
saw that twist coming though. Like I was like, everybody's assuming that it's a brother, but what if it was a sister?
Okay, so the next thing to sort of happen is after we find out all of that, then a little cop like drone sort of thing flies into Baker Street.
That was a good scene.
Flies into Baker Street and like puts herself down on the floor, and basically it's going to explode. And And that scene was freaking amazing.
That was a stressful scene.
They just like exploded Baker Street and like John and Sherlock jumped out the window and
it was
like,
really cool. Although I have to say, Benedict and Martin's faces as they were jumping out the window were really weird. Like they had the strangest expressions on their faces.
It was so strange.
That was very funny though.
So then the next thing that we see, because we don't know anything about either of them, like we don't know if any of them are okay, we literally know nothing. The next thing we see is a boat and Sherlock's standing up there and he's like, Sherlock Holmes, I go, the detective? No, the pirate. Lost it.
I was like, he's always wanted to say
He's
that.
always wanted to be a pirate and now he is a pirate and that's just really cute, which I love. But then it was kind of to get from like the boat to the prison. I didn't really know what was going on for a lot of it and I think that
there's a cat trying to break in.
for me, the story really took off once we sort of found out that Eurus is the one who's been controlling the prison this whole time. That's how she got out of the prison. That whole sequence with John and Mycroft being with the other people and Sherlock talking to his sister for the first time, like in his memory, that was an amazing little sequence. And it sort of, that's what started the stress factor. But then of course we get to the actual like final problem, which was basically Eurus trapped them in these like different rooms and then she made them do things that if they did them wrong that resulted in people's deaths, and each one got progressively harder and progressively more emotional. So the first one was all about she wanted either John or Mycroft to shoot this man in order to save his wife,
the governor's wife,
which of course neither of them wanted to do, and so that was just like to watch was just.
I'm going to interrupt you here. I was so mad at John because originally he said to Mycroft, you do it. And Mycroft's like, I'm not taking another life. But John has taken life before.
But this is very different.
Yeah, but he murdered that guy in cold blood in the very first episode.
Yeah, I know. And
I know it's different, but like he knew that woman's life was on the line. And then they both ended up dying. I was so mad, but he did admit that he made a mistake.
That was the moment everyone realised that Eurus was not joking.
No, she was not messing around.
She was not messing around. And then it was made even worse by she put Sherlock in contact with the little girl who was on the plane. Sherlock was not only having to deal with these problems that were happening, he was also having to deal with this little girl up on the plane, which was really horrible.
The whole situation was
too stressful. So that was the first little bit. We get to the second little bit, which basically they just have to determine which brother murdered someone, and then Eurus ended up killing all the brothers anyway. So it was just that wasn't too great.
He deducted it correctly. Yeah.
Then we get to the third room. The third room had me clutching a pillow. Keep in mind, this is at midnight. My parents' room is right next door. I couldn't be loud, and I was stressed to the max. He had to get Molly Hooper to say that she loved him on the phone.
That was horrible. I felt horrible for Molly because we all know that Molly's had a crush on Sherlock for forever since the beginning of the series, and that was and Sherlock knew that as well. I can imagine how bad Sherlock felt for doing that as well because he pretends not to care.
Sherlock was basically crying on the phone.
He pretends not to care, but he really does.
And that's what I love about him. He cares so much.
He does.
Which we know that he cares about because as soon as that was over, he smashed up the little coffin that was there, and John had to be like, look, I think
that was incredibly powerful,
emotional, devastating.
To see Sherlock, who's a man who doesn't really express emotion, to have that visceral a reaction to something was really.
One of the things that I thought was really interesting throughout this sequence is that both John and Sherlock took turns to say, we are soldiers, we carry on. And I think Sherlock
we just have to do this.
He sort of said it first to Mycroft, and then John had to say it back to Sherlock. And I think again, because their relationship had been so scarred in previous episodes because of what happened with Mary, I think that was just so powerful to see that. And then we make it to the fourth room, which I'm pretty sure we all knew this part was coming because Eurus was like, you have to take the gun's got one bullet. We all knew that at some point she was going to make him choose between John and Mycroft. That was always going to happen.
And the choice was obvious.
That he was gonna
choose John.
Oh yeah, that he was always going to choose John. And I think when Mycroft first started talking about like how it was always going to be him, I was sort of like, I don't know how to feel about this because I feel like Sherlock is going to choose John. And then of course Sherlock knew that Mycroft was just doing it.
I saw what Sherlock ended up doing as well.
I mean, I was hoping that's what he ended up doing because I didn't want Mycroft or John to die. Like, I thought that was just going to be too horrible. Yeah. So I'm glad that Sherlock ended up doing what he did. And I think to a certain extent, I think Eurus was expecting it as well.
Yeah.
Because of the next sort of scene set up where John was down the well and they were back at the family home, I kind of thought that she probably saw it coming too because 1 second. Hi, I'm filming a video right now. No, I'm at Beck's still. I not till heaps later, have your own dinner. Yeah, I probably won't be home till like 9, 10 o'clock tonight. Okay, bye. So by this point, I was like, tears down my face, stress to the max. I was like pulse pounding. I was not okay. So then we end up at the Sherlock Holmes's family home that Euros burnt down because she was a crazy bitch. Basically. And so we end up with John is chained in the bottom of a well. Sherlock wakes up and is like, oh, this is where I am. And he realizes that it's all about finding Eurus. It's all about her. It's all about finding John. The whole thing was about the final problem. The final problem was Eurus and Redbeard, trying to figure out who Redbeard was and what happened to him. And
originally we were given the impression that Redbeard was Sherlock's dog.
Yeah, which we've been given the impression about since like back in
the beginning.
Literally like back in season 2, I'm pretty sure there was like a reference to Redbeard being a dog. And I'm pretty sure that reference came from Moriarty, who was in the episode, which was incredible. When Moriarty showed up in this episode, I was like, what is happening?
The Moriarty part, we totally skipped over
that. Yeah, but that was like a what is happening sort of thing. And then it was like, oh my god, he's back 5 years ago.
Christmas Day.
Yeah.
Damn. I literally paused the episode at that point. I was like, hold it.
I need a moment.
I need 20 seconds of processing time here.
So that was horrible, basically.
That was clever though.
It was a very
clever tricked scene. Everyone for like 2 minutes into thinking he was back.
It was a very clever scene and I really enjoyed it, but it was also awful.
And good to see that actor back too, because he's phenomenal.
This episode had a lot less deduction and a lot more action, and it was so much more focused on the emotions and the emotional capacity. Sherlock is trying to find John, and in the process he figures out about Eurus.
Yeah.
And all of that, and he figures out who Redbeard was, which was kind of heartbreaking. Part of me was like, what if? And the other part of me is like, no, I want it to be a dog. I mean, we always knew that the dog was dead. Whatever Redbeard was, it was always going to be dead. And then when John finds the little human skull, that was heartbreaking.
Do you know what I found really interesting about that moment? Is that Sherlock didn't figure that out on his own. He needed John to tell him, these aren't dog's bones, these are child's bones. And then Sherlock went, oh my gosh.
Yeah, and I thought that was another like really nice thing with their relationship. Again, this episode, I don't know, I thought it was more definitely the emotional context side of the episode, and that's why this episode was so good, because by the end of it, Sherlock does find Eurus, and turns out the little girl in the plane is not a little girl in the plane, it's her.
Eurus,
It's her not having moved past her childhood, because Sherlock and Mycroft were always off doing something else, and clearly her parents were not great parents. Well, they didn't know how to help her, basically.
She was a disturbed child.
She was a disturbed child. They didn't know how to help her, and so I feel like the game was all just a cry for help, and so eventually he does help her, and she returns back to the prison, but Sherlock goes there all the time and plays the violin with her, and
she sees her parents
again, and so like it's all about helping her and all about helping Sherlock, and it's also showing how much Sherlock has changed from the first time we meet him to now with John, and John has changed his life so much, and it's just been such a roller coaster, and I gave the episode like 10 out of 5 stars because it was just so incredible. I loved every part of it, and I thought it was great.
Mary's death changed Sherlock in a very definitive
100%.
way.
That was
Once Mary gave her life so that he would live, he knew that he could not waste that.
No, and he didn't, and he's done so well with it since then. I loved that. I loved this series. I thought it was so much darker, but I really enjoyed it. I did just want to talk a little bit about season 5. So supposedly season 5 has been confirmed by the BBC, but this episode did not end on a cliffhanger, and this is the first Sherlock episode season finale to not end on one. I don't think season 5 will happen.
They have ended it the way that they ended it, so that if it is the last one, it's a satisfying finale.
Stephen Moffat has come out and said, we don't want it to be the last one.
We want to make another one. They have confirmed that they will, but they haven't said what timeline.
I still, just because they've confirmed it does not mean it will ever happen.
No, that's true.
Why personally I'm saying that it's done.
I'm holding out hope.
That's more for my personal like health and well-being. I was so stressed watching this episode that I don't think I can handle waiting waiting 2 years for this season killed me. I don't think I can handle waiting indefinitely for something that might never happen. I would rather be happy with what we've got and just focus on their upcoming projects and being excited about those.
If it ends there, I'll be happy, because that was a satisfying finale.
It was a very satisfying finale.
And they ended it in such a way that it can be the end of the show.
The little video message that Mary Mary left them at the end, that was just like her Baker Street Boys, that was just, it was the perfect way to end the series. But they have always said, because where that, I think it's like Rathbone Place or something, is where they're running out of at the very end of the episode. That is the start of another story, one of the Sherlock Holmes stories, so they could potentially do something with it, but I honestly don't think they will. But I'm okay
hoping that they will.
I'm okay with that.
Because I just got into this. So this will be my first 2-year wait.
You'll be waiting more than 2 years.
Yeah, well, I think that everybody on the show really wants to make another one, but they're only going to be able to do it if it's possible. And everybody's getting older, and you know, Benedict and Martin are so busy, and you know, being in movies and all that kind of crap. I don't know what Martin's up to right now, but I also want to talk to you about that bit at the end, you know, the Baker Street Boys bit, the kind of montage they did to end the episode. I was talking to my friend Corey and a couple other people about, like, did you get major John Locke vibes from that? Like,
I get
major John Locke vibes. Everybody else is like picking up on it.
I get John Locke vibes from everything.
When I was watching the episode, I was like, okay.
I love the idea of John Locke, but I would never want it to become canon.
No, I like the idea as well, but honestly, I don't know how John could ever put up with Sherlock if they're in a romantic relationship. He barely puts up with them as it is. And obviously John likes women. I mean, he married a woman, but it doesn't mean that he couldn't like men in the future. But I just think that it's so, like, wanted by the fan base that that's exactly why they won't do it.
Yeah. So I think we're going to leave it there, because we said that we didn't want it to go for over 20 minutes, because that's kind of a really long
90
time.
seconds.
Kind of a really long time for a hashtag finale talk. So thank you both for being here. I'm so glad that I managed to get you into Sherlock, because it's just so amazing. I hope you guys got something out of it. Definitely let us know in the comment section below if you watched this show, and sort of let's discuss it as well, because
talk about some opinions.
It was just such a great episode for me personally, but I know a lot of people didn't like it, because a lot of people missed the deduction part and wanted it to be less action sequencing.
Had a lot of trepidations about this series.
But honestly, this series for me was probably one of the best, even though it was the darkest, but I just loved it so much. Definitely make sure you go ahead and subscribe to Beck. I will leave her channel in the description box below. I have 1 minute to say goodbye, so if you like this video, be sure to give it a huge thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel so you don't miss a thing. Stay random.
Bye.